from the whiteboard and we're moving into my kitchen. I wanted to share with you, on my Facebook page I have shared a lot of my recipes, my homemade balms and things for different things. And today I kind of want to do a special video because my son and I have been through kind of a traumatic ordeal lately. We both came down with shingles, and if you've had it, you know it's absolutely miserable. It's the worst itch ever, and it lasts forever. It's like chicken pox times 10, I guess. So anyway, I came up with a cream that I wanted to share with you because it's been the only thing to really help me. And so I'm going to share the ingredients with you. And I've gone through the process of using a home double broiler system. If you don't have one, I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. So I guess I will give you the ingredients to start off with, and then I'm just going to go through the process and show you kind of what I do. And really, the coconut oil that I'm going to use and the beeswax is pretty much a base for all of my balms. So if you get that part down, you can explore and experiment yourself from there. So with that, let me also, if you really get into this, I know that the ingredients I use are not things that everyone's going to have in their kitchen. And so these are going to be things that you'll have to special order, which I buy most of mine from Amazon. And I'm Amazon Prime, so I get it within 3 days, so it's really a good deal for me. But I just got a little notebook from the dollar store, did some Mod Podge on it, Sonja's recipes, and I write down pretty much everything I do because you're going to forget. And so when you come up with a cream that you just really love, you're going to want to be able to go back and look at your notes and be able to reproduce it. So good idea to take notes. So for this recipe, and this was basically for the itch and soothing the skin because it got so bad that I couldn't even sleep. And interestingly enough, I was laying in bed. I'm big into documentaries, and so I was watching just some random one about the Black Plague. And there was a doctor that actually treated a lot of people during the Black Plague. He treated Pope Innocent, I believe, and actually came down with the disease himself. And he actually shares the ingredients that he used. A lot of people think he was a quack doctor because he used astrology, which I also do astrology, so I know he's not a quack. But I was listening to his ingredient list, which was onions, figs, yeast, and butter. So obviously the butter is his oil, his base oil, which I'm going to be using coconut. And when I thought about onions, like this huge light bulb went off. He was using a sulfur-based treatment, and sulfur is wonderful for psoriasis, eczema, scabies, you know, so any sort of irritating skin problem. And so I had onion seed oil, which I bought for the sulfur content. And so I was like, I'm going to make my own cream, and I'm telling you, it's wonderful. So ingredients. Coconut oil, olive oil, the black onion seed oil, which for the sulfur. I used cloves, bergamot, and oregano. And the bergamot is another essential oil that soothes the nerves. It's really good for itching. And the cloves I kind of substituted for his figs, which it's just a really good antibacterial, antifungal, because one of the major risks with shingles is getting a secondary bacterial infection from scratching the sores. So I really wanted to prevent that. And then the oregano is also a very powerful antifungal, antibacterial. In fact, they are studying oregano oil for the fact that it will attack and kill cancer cells. In fact, I have a really old dog, 13, going on 14 years of age, who started developing the skin tumors that dogs just get. And you take them to the veterinary, and they'll basically tell you there's nothing that you can do. Well, I treated a golf ball sized tumor on my oldest dog with oregano oil mixed in with some of my other balms, and it is going away. So I'll make a different video for that. But again, another wonderful essential oil. So let's get started cooking. So all of these balms require a double boiler system, and if you don't have a double boiler, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it, and that's basically with a pan, and I put about 1.5 inches of water in the bottom. This is turned on right now, about 3/4 of the way up, almost to high, so you want the water to boil. And this is a bowl that I use regularly. You don't want to use your favorite kitchen cooking bowls for this. You kind of want to have a separate set of bowls for your creams. So you just set it on top and it heats the bowl, and it's going to increase the temperature enough to melt your wax is the primary thing. So I'm just going to start going through my ingredients, putting them in. I'm going to look at my notes here. So 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Start with that. And a lot of my base oils I just get at the grocery store. So this coconut oil comes from Walmart and I buy it in bulk. So I go through it like crazy. In fact, this is a brand new one, so I'm going to have to open it. So 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil. And right now we're just mixing our carrier oils and our beeswax. And then I used 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And the reason that I'm making a second batch to show you guys this is I think this is going to be a wonderful cream for any sort of skin irritation, including mosquito bites and things, which I live in an area chock full of mosquitoes and they love my son, so I think that this is going to come in handy in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and make a batch. And then one of our primary ingredients is the black onion seed oil, and I used another tablespoon of that. And then 1.5 tablespoons of your beeswax. And so I was able to use the same spoon for all of my oils, but I definitely want to get a clean, dry spoon for my beeswax. So from there, I'm just going to heat it to the point that my little, I'll show you the beeswax, comes in little pellets. And what you really want to do is get these to melt. This will be the last thing to melt in your mix. So again, Amazon, and I do buy it in bulk because I go through it like crazy. And we're just going to give this a little bit of a stir. And I always kind of like to focus on healing, love, healing, all that good stuff, juju when I do my kitchen cooking. And this probably takes about 3 to 5 minutes, I'd say. So you can see I'm not adding any of my essential oils yet. It's really important to let your temperature cool to the point where you're not going to take away any of the healing properties of your essential oils. So once I get these base oils to melt and come together, then I'll remove it from the heat and let it cool for a little bit. And that's when we'll come back and I will show you and tell you how much of each essential oil I'm adding. Okay, so I took my oils and wax. You can see it's completely melted. The wax has disappeared. and we let it cool for a little bit. And so now I'm just going to drop in my essential oils. And for the bergamot, again, I just ordered these on Amazon. And if you really want to get started with this, I would highly recommend ordering like a sample kit for these little essential oils, and they'll come in these tiny bottles like this, but it'll give you a lot of different kinds to play with. So we're going to do 10 drops of the bergamot. And sometimes it takes a little bit for them to come out, and then they go fast. So 10 drops of bergamot, then 10 drops of cloves. And I'll show you this little bottle of cloves. And they smell wonderful. And 3 drops of the oregano. The oregano is really powerful stuff. You have to dilute this with a carrier oil or it will burn. So just 3 drops. And again, this one you need to be real careful with if you have any open sores, because it really could burn you. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm just going to give it a little stir. And the best way to store these is in a amber or blue jar. I don't like to spend the money, and I go through them so fast that I choose to just use the ball jars, mason jars, and store them in a dark place. Otherwise your essential oils will go bad. So I'm just going to, and these are great because you can label them so easily with stickers. You can buy the round ones, you can get chalkboard labels, whatever you choose to do. So then I'm just going to take this, I'm going to pour it into my jar. I'm going to go right to the sink with my bowl because the wax is kind of a mess to clean up. My suggestion is to take your hot water from the boiling and pour it right into that bowl, and it will help melt the wax and make it easier to clean up. And so from here I'm going to go right to the refrigerator with it, let my oils and wax set back up, and you have a wonderful soothing balm. So I hope this was helpful for you. I just wanted to show you, as this starts to set up, it's going to turn into, it's going to look like coconut oil basically as it starts to cool and harden. And you can either use a popsicle stick, or I just use my hands because I don't share my creams with other people. So anyway, I'm going to go to the fridge with this. I hope this helps you. I hope it's been informative. Check out my Facebook page. Of course, this will be on YouTube. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Much love. Till next time. Bye-bye.